extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. When he was threatened, but if you are...
Why? If we know where the...
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against... There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have but a single... The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed. But...
Then, in that case...
Well, you saw...
The things...
You sound like you put a lot of thought...
I am the but. I've always been willing to take on any kind of...
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. When I announced orders, if the vendors didn't... After several rounds... The first...
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? Thanks to his position, there's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. In the beginning, they were...
So, they're like a...
Yes, you can say. It's a bit difficult to...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These? To think that the...
If you want to
Of course.
You're too kind. And before I forget, proving boss after that incident, Jacques, what if it might...
Aw, thank you so much.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to...
It is settled, then. Please excuse...
Thank you for arranging everything.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can... understand the kind of pain that...
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I know only...
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't... On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought... So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could. But even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly. But Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized. I don't know that for sure. But... which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken, even if he...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parrot.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen it. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened?
After that, my first react, but when I got...
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't hit anyone. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the tape, but according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have... About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a 3rd person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. The gun he was holding...
Yeah, that makes... But hold on. He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. Did he lose all faith in the courts? After seeing...
I'll tell you
I understand. And if I may just say, many people have... But it was Mr. No matter what...
Don't worry. You and all our other...
Before you can start it.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh,
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that?
I mean, where I work, Callis did a fantastic job running the town. It would be next to him. Anyway.
Ah, yes. These two, what happened at the opera?
Ah, if you want to go through...
That'd be much appreciated.
Of course. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use...
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do...
Then you think too highly of my ability. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'll be staying in the...
Nak tidurnya kayak mana? Ya.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Mark. I just wanted to...
Yes,
Oh!
that's right. I also witnessed to beat the high...
Oh,
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can just...
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry. I hate the Confrérie, then I heard the
Oh, it's okay.
Sounds good. Just all my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Incoming.
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to... Makes sense. But without evidence, besides Jacques, it's obvious that...
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, still really... Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a... Thierry, you say? But...
Yeah, if the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that...
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most...
Could we be missing other suspects?
The suspect is knowledgeable about the... Spina's Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we need far more solid proof before...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of...
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then...
Right, because...
Yeah.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this isn't... You're right. This is our... I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence.
But we'll help you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver. When did you two get here?
Well, we heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that it's our hope that...
Thank you so much. Then...
See you then! leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. Navia's probably...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true...
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system. However, I did... In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all... I've got to admit, when I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I...
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant... In that case, let...
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man. Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harp.
Miss Navia, this is the second, but that was an
Oh, please. Did you... we can put that discussion aside for now. And if my charges prove true...
Oh. A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules, and so, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Something's not right. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières. Huh? What Confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare that members of the guards... Mr. Marcel, you will not
apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on. Why, if that's enough to make me a...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about...
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken it. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also Callus was defeated by... These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the... and after However, we... Something's not... The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility and had sent out another assassin. This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
What happened? Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory.
Mr. Marcel.
Ah, but I think...
Then, may I ask one? Do you have... I'm afraid not. I may not have the evidence with me, but